it. Let's do that again then. And I want to turn off the autofocus so we don't have that noise. So Saturn has gone direct. Can I get a hallelujah? How you do? And welcome to my channel. I hope you're feeling fresh and good. This is what came out of my self-educating class within or regarding Saturn going direct and where to start. I've had personally a lot of energy work relating with relating, how I relate with myself, how I'm connecting with myself, reflecting and communicating, and then also of course how that is reflecting outwardly with the beings around me. And I feel called to share about it, you know. And one of the biggest thing that has been really helpful to me is instead of thinking about it, I'm feeling about it, and also recognizing how everything is a practice. So there's no, for me, pressure to be the top dog at something or to reach a climax of something, but recognizing that everything is a practice, and how the trees are, again, I can show you this thing that turned. I didn't plan on making it like this, but I love the way it turned out. Let me see. Don't stop till you get enough. So you see here a tree stump, and the reason I made a tree stump because of the rings, the ring around Saturn, and how rings represent growth and the time that has gone by. As I was working on this kind of for me began symbolizing the growth within the tree, or the rings that you can see inside the tree of the growth and the time. And again, also representing the natural order that allowed for the tree to grow and expand and do its natural thing, you know, but also the science to it. So how the tree takes in what is natural to it and lets go of anything that isn't natural to it for it to grow and expand. And it's not only about the tree growing for him herself, but it's also about having nourishment for the ground. Again, like, you know, it's a full circle, and that's why I have a Taurus field up here. It's a toroidal field to show that ever-flowing flow of what goes around comes around, and it takes in and it lets go, and it takes in and it lets go. Those Taurus fields. And also Saturn was in my second house on the day of my birth. So I was working on my birth chart. This is what this is. And then today it's in my first house. So that's also why I've had, of course, the focus on how I'm relating. First of all, the relating of itself. And second house, I also relate with value and volume. I think I got that from Dolo, Flight Boss. I haven't watched him in a minute. You can get it. Just love me from the inside. Got me on the Hennessy. So the value of self and how we can, or how I connect with it. And the value of life in itself, right? And what kind of belief systems that I have created for myself as a kid, and like working through them, looking at them with an honest perspective. I also feel like Saturn is about having an honest perspective to see the natural order of things and to keep everything aligned with its natural order, what stays, what goes. And again, the tree, reflecting for me the tree. I love nature. It's beautiful. Eternal beauty, you know. How the tree takes in nurture, so from the water, from the air, from the ground, grows from a seed, and then it grows and grows, and then the leaves become also nurture for the soil, the ground again, which also bears other Bears ground is space, fertile space for other things to grow that feeds the herbivores, those animals that eat plants, and those plants and those animals feed those who eat meat. And again, the natural order of things. And as human beings, the power of choice that we have, and also the effects of our awareness, how aware we are of what it is. Eating is an elemental part of living, of being. So it's also an elemental part that reflects who we are being to ourselves and to those around us. And for me, this is not about being judgmental. This is about being honest within ourselves and feeling about what we can choose to let go of and let flow. And then know that when we let something flow, again with this toroidal field, if it's 4 hours high is good, or if it's part of our truth, then it is going to circle back to us one way or another. I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna get you. I'm making some rice porridge, so I'm just gonna check upon it. Thank you so much to those who continue showing their supports, whether it's through a watch of a video, a subscription, a like, a comment. It's all greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. I love you. I don't need to know you to love you. And that's the next portion of this that I want to share, about how one of the most powerful and transformative loves that I've experienced has been the love I have for my little sister. And I was there when she was born. Why am I getting emotional? Because it's beautiful and it's powerful. Oh, there's a cat out there. Wow. And it stopped as soon as I mentioned it. You a little intuitive being, aren't you? Okay, let me. Hello. How I felt like I loved her even before I knew her. So what I did, shout out to my little sis. So I got a lot of different notes. Yesterday I was just opening up on a random page and I found where I had a lot of space for writing, and what I had written at the top here: how do you perceive yourself? And then I wrote my response to that. And for me, it's important when it comes to self-unity kind of educational work about self-awareness and self-love has been my main focus. And then how that's been the roots or the seeds, and then it has stretched out to psychology, even economy and beauty, natural creams, natural foods, medicine, healing, tarot, numerology, astrology, human design, gene keys, cosmic calendars, observational tools. All right. Before I began flexing all the things I've been studying, all the areas, what I was gonna say is how important it is to not be afraid of answering wrong. There are no wrong answers for me when it comes to doing self-awareness work and self-loving kind of work. Whatever you feel in that moment in time and whatever you choose to write down is there for a reason, and it's part of your consciousness for a reason coming through you. And so it's something to for you, whether it's to focus your awareness just in the moment of writing it down and never look at it again, or to come back to and find deeper meanings, deeper emotional ties, blockages maybe to clear and let go. It's all beautiful, let it flow, let it flow, let it flow. Then I wrote again yesterday, how do I perceive myself? And some things that I had written about before, like one was shameful, regretful feelings for sensuality. And that has been a natural focus for me for the past, I would say, a week, maybe 2 weeks even. And I even wrote it here. And integrity has been a big word. And with also that Taurus field, you have sensuality written over there. I don't know if you can see that there. Sensual. sensing through all the senses and sensing that we are within the all and part of the all. As always, feel free to share any questions or comments you may have down below. I feel like the tribe that's growing here on this platform is loving and supporting. Even if you have questions that you feel could be, what's the word? Bow, chicka down, bow, bow. Don't stop till you get enough. Chicka, chicka, bow, bow, bow. Don't stop till you get enough. Okay, so back to how do you perceive yourself. I feel like it's a nice tool, a nice observational tool of self-awareness and self-love. So how do you perceive yourself? Write down a couple notes, or you could record. I love personal recording. And I think also that saying things out loud sometimes brings things into a new awareness or a new perspective when you hear it out loud. So how do you perceive yourself? And then another one that I worked on was, how do I perceive my love? So how do I experience within myself the love that I hold, the love that I cultivate, the love that I practice? And then how do I choose to share that with those around me? I think it can put things in perspective. Again, for that natural order, for that natural clearing, what can I let go, let flow? What do I trust is a part of me regardless? Balancing the self in relation with those around. So I can write, actually, what I felt was a meeting of someone who, by being, reflected back to me the kind of love and attention and affection that I feel like I've been sharing, and not necessarily felt it reflected back to me in this way before. And when I made contact, or when we made contact, as we have been connecting, the love that I experience in that space of connecting with this being, which isn't even in the physical, okay, has felt like love enough for a lifetime. And it's so powerful and so, again, humbling and empowering to feel how, again, powerful and empowering and humbling love is in true form, in true expression, without trying to think about where is this love leading, what kind of form should this love take, or will this love take, being in the moment with it, feeling about it, having honest communication. And I also wrote here how honest communicating equals honest relating equals honest connecting. And then also recognizing the unity and diversity, that we don't have to agree on everything to feel connected with each other. And usually, and that's the point, right? That's also why I wrote here point of view together with the drawing of the eyes. Different people equals different points of views. So we're all different expressions and experiences of the same, with particular unique points of views. And those points of views they can be of benefit to each other and one another, to relate and to connect and to experience something new and to share something new. Yeah, so I actually wrote, how do you know if something is true love? Maybe I'll do this in a separate video. I don't know. Listen. That's what it do. Just gotta let it flow, you know? Hello, if this is a new video, I hope you're feeling good. I got just a quick thing that's very powerful for me that I want to share about how do you know if it's true love? How will I know? And within me, what I feel, what I have been feeling and haven't had the awareness or words to express and explain and inform about, which has made previous relating tricky. This is very vital. I think it's very vital to rock around the rock. Here we go. It's true to rock around. is how do you know if someone loves you, right? What's the difference? And for me, what's the difference between someone wanting you around, someone needing you around, it's so subtle and sensitive, right? Love, vulnerability. And so for me, small things can equal to bigger things. But yeah, how do you know if someone loves you, if it's true love? And for me, this also relates with unconditional love. Of course, honoring and respecting and appreciating boundaries, because they are there for a reason. Which I've been learning. Okay, Saturn retrograde definitely gave me a couple real lessons in boundaries and the necessity of them for us to be, just the fact that we are in forms without the boundary that of the different cells and the different things doing their thing, we wouldn't be able to be, so that's one. But for me, real love, true love that I feel for someone is so that I love the being regardless of who they turn out to be for me, regardless of how our love, what form us coming together equals to. So whether it becomes a friendship or a romantic relationship or more of a family kind of dynamic, regardless of where which form it takes. And also it can take one form and then move into another, or take one form and then be released and let go of, and then having that love from a distance. I feel when you truly love someone and when you feel true love within yourself, first of all, and then you experience someone who mirrors that for you, and you share a connecting, a communicating, relating, and of course that reflecting as well. It's so powerful. And I've recently had this with a being, and what I found myself feeling and experiencing in writing was how just the meeting of this energy or this being, and again, this being is from a distance, like we haven't even met in the physical, but just from the honest relating, communicating and connecting and sharing that love that we've both been cultivating within ourselves and that we practice. Again, for me, it's important to emphasize the word practice, because it's something we're practicing. It's not something that comes without any form of practice again. And there's no point of, now I've done enough, I don't need to do anymore. Life is a practice. We keep on and on and on and on. I definitely feel like we get to a point where if I don't want to say that it's easier, but the less distractions and the less stagnancy that I feel I have in my being, the easier it does flow. However, it takes some work, some groundwork to get to that flow. And then continuously upkeeping that flow, again, is also a practice of its own. And so I felt like just meeting with this being and experiencing the existence of this being and their love felt like love enough for a lifetime. Like it felt like if I never got to experience or communicate or relate or reflect with this being again, the meeting in itself that I had already experienced and had the beautiful opportunity to express was enough. Like, it felt like enough. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like this is true love. I feel like true love is abundant. It is shared. And sometimes the form of true love can be that of the mother who knows what comes in and what doesn't. How to keep her child or children safe, right? And again, back to the tree of how the tree takes in what is nourishing and doesn't even bother with the rest. It lets go of the rest. To keep the flow clear, the flow of nurturing clear, to preserve itself as a tree and the forest and the animals in the forest and how everything's ripples out and out and out and expands. And yeah, so that's why it starts with the self. Wow, I really like the direction of this video. I don't think I'm gonna cut or do anything. I'm just gonna share it the way it is, you know? And I'll show you, let me see. I gotta cover up this one part real quick. If you've come this far, then this is for you, a sharing. You get to see what I worked with basically. I was thinking of uploading it to Patreon only, but whoop, I changed my mind. So, show you all of this. This is my personal work though, with the planets, not really relevant for you, but this part might be. Yeah, so much love and appreciation as always. And maybe I'll see you in the next one. Until then, the video just stopped again. I hope you have a beautiful night, life, day. And peace out. Stay jamming.